Moments ago, Apple just announced their Apple Vision Pro augmented reality headset for $3,500. I gotta say, I'm excited about this product, but I'm also extremely skeptical. I feel like this is one of these moments that we'll look back on in 10, 20, 30 years, and every one of our children will mock us and be like, "That's what you thought the future would look like? You thought that was cool back then?" I wanna start off by talking about what I think the biggest misconception with this product will be, because even I was confused by the majority of this keynote. And the question I had was, can you actually see through this thing? Is this thing made of glass that can become transparent or dark, or is that just another computer screen on the front? And yes, it is in fact another computer screen. So when you're wearing this, yes, you will be able to see your surroundings, but you're going to be able to see your surroundings through video cameras that are on the front of this headset. Throughout this entire keynote, they keep showing people interacting in the real world while wearing this with other people, like a dad playing with his kids or a woman packing a suitcase. Maybe people would actually do that if you could see through it, but you're just looking through video cameras at a screen of what's in front of you. I think it's going to look horrible in low lit environments. Now, to speak a little bit more about the screen on the front that can either replicate your face or it can show this animation that kind of shows that you're in the Matrix, don't bother me. I was wondering, like, how in the world is it matching my face? Like, what if I have a different skin tone or weird eyes or something? Well, later in the keynote, they finally explain it. And when you buy this product, you actually have to scan your face and you become this digital video game character. And that is what is playing on the screen. They also keep showing people FaceTiming other people. And I was wondering, like, well, what do the other people see? Well, they see this video game character. And again, that just seems super weird to me. Like, who wants to do that when FaceTime is so easy and convenient on your phone and they can actually see you? Why would anybody want to talk to you as a video game character? So again, I like that Apple's pushing it here, and maybe one day they'll become super photorealistic and it will be the exact same as a video feed. But right now, it just looks kind of goofy to me. And so I just don't see people actually using it for this. One other thing that was really confusing me while I was watching this keynote was when you could see somebody's eyes in this thing, it looked like there was depth there, and it looks like their eyes were back where it should be, even though this thing is sticking way off of their face. And so I was wondering, like, how is it possibly doing that? Because I would imagine if it's a screen, it's gotta be on the front of this thing. So how is it making it appear like it's back in space?
Eyesight utilizes a unique curved OLED panel with a lenticular lens to project the correct perspective of your eyes to each person looking at you.
This is so hard for me to comprehend. I don't understand how this thing is capable of showing different views depending on where you're looking at the headset. I mean, this might be the most impressive part of this entire headset. And this is something that I want to see myself in real life, because it's hard for me to even comprehend. But basically, without this filter or lens on the front of it, it would literally just look like, you know, somebody's eyes are like poked out 3 inches off of their face. All right, I think we've talked enough about the front screen. I think the average person is probably going to use this alone in their mother's basement anyway, so nobody is going to see the front screen of this thing. Let's talk about how you actually control it. Instead of coming with 2 controllers like most other VR headsets do, this one is completely controlled with your own hands. So it has cameras that are facing down, and Apple claims that you can keep your hands low, like on your lap, in a comfortable position, and you can just move your fingers and pinch and zoom and pull things. The main reason people use VR today is for gaming. And if you only have your hands, you're only able to do so much. I purchased a VR headset just to play Half-Life Alyx. It's an amazing game, definitely worth checking out, but I don't think you could play it with just your hands. You definitely need controllers for that. Most people realize that you can't get most AAA video games on Mac ecosystems anyway, so maybe this just isn't going to be for hardcore gaming. Apple showed in their commercial playing like iPhone games on it, which just seems crazy to me. If you're gonna spend $3,500 on something and then play something that you can play on your phone, That just seems like a huge waste to me. I would think if you're gonna make hardware this incredible, you would also want the gaming experience to be the best in the world as well, but what do I know? Now, the other thing they keep showing again and again and again are people watching movies and TV shows and sports games with this headset. And for me personally, I think it's a gimmick. I've got a VR headset, I've tried to watch a TV show on it, and I just feel really stupid the whole time. And yes, you can make it big, but like, is big the best? Does anybody even want to sit in the front row of a movie theater? No, you want to sit back. You want the screen to be within your vision. You don't want to have to like look at movies like this. That's super annoying. One day I will see a nerd on an airplane wearing one of these, but it will not be an attractive female. I can guarantee you that. And then the other thing to consider is like the social element of it. TV and movies for me is kind of a social thing. I don't usually sit down and watch this stuff by myself, especially like a sports game or something. Are you gonna sit down in your living room where the TV is right there and be like, nah, I'm not gonna watch that. I wanna watch this with friends and family sitting around the room with you? I don't get it. And then probably the weirdest thing is it shows this dad like playing with his kids and then taking a photo of his kids while wearing this thing. I just can't imagine that ever happening past like the first day of ownership. You're gonna put it on, you're gonna test it out, you're gonna be like, oh, let's see what it looks like. And then you're never gonna do that again because you will look like an absolute freak if you do that. I feel like this is one of these moments that we'll look back on in 10, 20, 30 years and every one of our children will mock us and be like, that's what you thought the future would look like? You thought that was cool back then? All right, I've ragged on this thing pretty hard, but honestly, it does have potential in the productivity department. You could basically have as many monitors as you want wherever you are, and you don't have to travel with them, you just have to travel with this headset. I could see this being a huge help for certain things like movie production where, you know, you're editing in different locations all the time. You don't want to bring monitors with you, so you bring this thing. Part of the reason this thing costs so much is that it is a self-contained computer. It seems to be running software similar to an iPhone or an iPad, which for me personally doesn't really help as a video editor or as a photo editor. They made some comments about like being able to edit Lightroom files with just your fingers. Again, all that stuff just seems like a gimmick to me. Like, I don't want to edit 1,000 photos with my fingertips. I want to edit them as quickly as I can so I can get back to the real world and do other things.
You can receive a 3D object in Messages, pull it out, and look at it from every angle, just as if it was there in front of you.
I could see this maybe being super popular with like a video game development company where people are making 3D assets all the time and they're sharing them back and forth and working together. Maybe a headset like this could really help productivity with that. But for the average person, nobody is getting 3D scans sent via text message. It just doesn't make any sense. So for me personally, I'm not as excited about the built-in operating system. I want to plug this thing into my laptop and then I just want to have a ton of screen real estate so that I can get to work while I'm on location.
And you can even bring your Mac wirelessly into Apple Vision Pro just by looking at it. Place your Mac screen wherever you want and expand it, giving you an enormous, private, and portable 4K display.
I'd like more information about that. Can you have more than one screen when you look at your MacBook, or can you only have the one screen? Because for me, productivity comes with 2 or more screens, so I don't know, that wasn't very clear.
So you can dial in the White Sands environment and use other apps in Vision Pro side by side with your Mac.
It seems like they're saying the Mac is allowed one screen and then the other screens have to be built into the OS running on the headset itself, which for me kind of defeats the entire purpose. The problem that all VR systems have right now just comes down to software. There's so much potential and they can show these incredible like demos, but when you actually use them, you realize, okay, they're just demos. Yes, I could edit a photo in VR, but it's harder and it's slower, so I'm gonna try it once and then I'm never going to do it again. Yes, you could look at some product in 3D in VR, but you can also look at it in 3D on your laptop and it's much easier and more convenient and you don't look like an idiot while you're doing it. And yes, playing games in VR can be amazing, but 99% of them are just these gimmicky games that are fun for 5 minutes and then you have no desire to ever play them again. I've tried to use VR for so many different things. I've tried to watch movies on it. I've tried to use it to edit videos. I've tried to use it as a workstation with multiple monitors. The only thing that I ever fully enjoyed using it for was playing the game Half-Life Alyx. Other than that, I enjoyed it for a few minutes, I put it away, and to be honest with you, I don't think I've put it on my head in the last year and a half. I probably don't sound like it, but I'm actually really excited for this product. I am happy that Apple went super high-end with this. I'm happy it cost $3,500 because I hope they've packed as much new technology into this thing as possible so that when the average person puts it on, they go, oh, now I get it, I want this. Because the more people who do AR and VR, the more developers we get on board, and then it will change from something that's gimmicky to something that's actually productive. I can't imagine anybody is going to play with their children while wearing this, or fold clothes while they're wearing this, or choose to do a FaceTime while wearing this. But I can see this being a big help in certain industries, especially mine, photo and video, if the right applications come out. I'm not sure that this is the headset that's going to push AR and VR into the mainstream, but this is a giant step forward.